Let's go live now to Rex Patrick, Centre Alliance. Senator, thanks very much for your time. You've got some suggestions when it comes to responding to coronavirus, but not in terms of the medical response, but you want the government to get out early, not just with the stimulus, but with the budget. Can you explain to our viewers what you're thinking on that?
Yes, good afternoon, Kieran. Look, clearly there are a number of changes happening in the budget space. We've had the fires, we've had announcements in relation to health management, $1 billion, $500 million being committed to by the federal government. We're now talking about stimulus measures. There are significant changes, and it might be very well advised for confidence reasons to bring the budget forward, but also because if we look at the trajectory of coronavirus here in Australia, and there is a risk of this, we might find ourselves in a situation where around about May we will start to hit the peak of coronavirus, and that's probably a time where we don't want to be having mass gatherings, and indeed we could get into ourselves into a situation where we've got lockdowns in China, we've got lockdowns in Italy, and the Parliament needs to be able to do its work.
So it's basically two main reasons. One, to give continued confidence in terms of the economic management, but secondly, to avoid Parliament basically being a petri dish, and therefore you don't want the disease, if it does escalate in terms of the number of cases, that then parliamentarians come here and then travel to various parts of the nation after a sitting.
Yeah, well, when Parliament sits, more than 5,000 people converge on Parliament House, and that's particularly so during a budget week, followed by things like estimates, where we have pretty much every official from every agency around the country travelling to Canberra, and it may be better, we may better serve the Australian public and ensure that we are able to sit unfettered by bringing forward the budget period.
Now, do you worry though that if there is a special arrangement in terms of this working environment, that people might think, well, we have to show up, why don't you?
Oh, look, it's not a case of trying to not turn up for work. It's about trying to manage the virus. It's about rescheduling, not stopping work, simply trying to manage the coronavirus in the context of pretty important parliamentary business.
Yeah, indeed. And so in terms of the reaction within the community, we've seen both in the shopping aisles but in the markets as well, there is quite a deal of panic right now. What would you like to see from our political leadership, from the Prime Minister and others, in terms of the message to Australians right now?
Well, in all of these cases, we need to hope for the best but prepare for the worst. And things like the toilet paper panic, I mean, that's just crazy stuff. In South Australia, we have Kimberley-Clark that produces toilet paper. It should not even be on anyone's radar as something to be concerned, but it does demonstrate how people react. Indeed, the stock market today, we see it's down about 6.5%. We have to try and remain calm, think our way methodically through this.
Senator Patrick, as always, appreciate your time. Talk to you soon.
Thank you.